Very good everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight will take us once again on the VATSIM network. And again we'll be returning to the Fenix Airbus A320 for a return flight from Belgrade to Eindhoven. Yesterday we flew from Eindhoven to Belgrade on VATSIM, and today we're going to do the reverse flight. So thank you very much for joining in. FPS logo, so nice of you to come and check it out and say hi. I hope you're doing well. I'm fine, thank you very much. Just came from college, going to be doing a full A320 Neo flight from cold and dark all the way to the stand. That is so awesome, man. Do it. So we are actually on VATSIM, and while I was preparing, Belgrade was actually online, but by the time I was set up everything, Belgrade is no longer online, unfortunately. They had only approach, but we'll fly anyway. Let's get rid of the little splash screen here, and get rid of the little countdown timer, and let's get our overlay up and running. So let's see, we're parked here at gate Alpha 10 at Belgrade Nikola Airport. We're using real-world time and real-world weather, TISAK service of simple traffic tool, and we're using custom scenery for both the Eindhoven airport and the Nikola Airport in Belgrade. And this time we actually have two runways operating. You may remember yesterday we were able to land on 30 right, but we were not able to taxi from the one runway to the other because it was basically blocked off. Again, thanks for yesterday's help changing it to legacy. Oh, cool. Thanks so much for letting me know. My pleasure, man. It's nice to hear that it worked out. I think I did the same in the beginning. I think it was either on the other one. I don't even know what it is. Modern flight physics or something. And I remember Googling, and everybody said, no, just put it back on legacy. And then everything worked like a charm. So we're parked here at stand Alpha 10. In the picture we're actually at Alpha 9, but then once we connected to the network, there is actually another VATSIM aircraft, Lufthansa, parked at Alpha 9. So I disconnected, replaced the aircraft, and then reconnected. Unfortunately, as I said, Belgrade is no longer online, but we can still have some fun. So that's precisely what we'll do. So let's hop on in. Let's get our flight plan from SimBrief. So we got about 32 minutes before we need to go, but I think we'll be done a lot sooner. Just a question, I have all the liveries installed, EasyJet, Air France, Lufthansa and so on. How to put one of them in my own flight? I'm thinking, processing. I guess it depends where you place them in the community folder. And it also depends on the aircraft. If you are referring to one of the Asobo aircraft, the A320 Neo, no, I think you were flying the fly-by-wire, right? You could check. I think maybe fly-by-wire has an installer, and perhaps that installer has a option to install liveries as well. You could maybe try that, I think. Provided by fly-by-wire, okay. I think it's just a general, I don't know, I think it's just you go to your menu, select your aircraft, and then you select liveries. But I'm not sure if I'm understanding your question, Lego. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I sound like a moron. Let me know how it goes, man. So this will be our flight. LYBE to Echo Hotel. Ground services, we have the ground power unit connected. You should be able to see that right there. It's our ground power unit providing us with some power. So let's first start up the aircraft. So first we'll start with the batteries. I'm not going over the entire checklist, but usually you will check if the batteries are at least, I don't know, 24 or something volts. So the batteries are on, so external power is available, so we can turn it on. After doing that, put the strobe on auto and the nav lights on. I always like to have a little bit of overhead lights as well, on the emergency exit lights, and then crew oxygen supply and the ground control button. The aircraft is now powering up, doing some stealth tests. The Airbus triple tick. Now as you saw on VATSIM, everyone has liveries on their aircraft like EasyJet, Lufthansa and so on. Also want to put skins like that. How do I do it? I do have the... And do you want to see the livery on your own plane? Because my fly-by-wire A320 Neo just shows a generic fly-by-wire skin livery. That's a very good question. I don't think I've ever had any issues with that. So if I understand you correctly, when you look at your airplane, like I am now, right outside, you will see the generic livery and not the livery that you loaded. But are you able to load other liveries for other aircraft, whether it be on VATSIM or not? Yes, you want to see liveries on your own aircraft. I don't know. Usually it's pretty straightforward. You just go to your menu where you select the airplane. Then there's also a button beneath it saying liveries, and that is the aircraft that you do need to click again. But maybe this works with other aircraft. Maybe it does work for you with other aircraft. If that's the case, then there's something wrong with the. I don't know. Then you're doing something wrong, but I don't know what, man. It sounds like you're basically loading into the simulator with not with the livery you selected. As far as I know, it should work by just going to the aircraft. Not sure if I can show you. Probably not, because I think we'll leave the. Maybe that should not do that. Let's see what's happening inside. So the aircraft. One important thing. Let's get the aiders for alignment. There's also some tests that you can do, right? Like the engine fire test and the APU fire test. I'm never doing those. Maybe one day I'll totally nerd out on those as well, and I'll start doing them. So let me first of all quickly check to see if there's anything online. Nothing happening online, so that means we are at 122.8. So that's good. That's Unicom. So let's set everything up. ATSU and then AOC menu, and then flight init. This will get the initial flight information into our system. Estimated time on route 2 hours 6 minutes. So we got all the information here. So we go to our init page. We can basically do the same. And today on the init B page, let's see if we can request our all the fuel data, and otherwise we'll just put it in manually. So this is requesting. So this is finding our route from and to, from Belgrade to Eindhoven. The flight number we'll have to enter ourselves, so that will be Wizz Air 812. Cost index and cruising altitude. Let's check our OFP for this. Cost index 24, cruising 360. Cost index 24, cruising 360. It's okay, Lego. What are you saying? Let's see. Went to library and delivery. Just for my understanding and context, you're using FS 2024, am I correct? because I do not know the specifics on that, but it's probably more or less the same. With library and liveries on my own 2024. Okay, thank you. Library and liveries on my own aircraft. Only the F. Okay, so it is only. So that's where it. Then there. Oh, that's interesting. Sounds like they might be in the wrong folder. The liveries might be in the wrong folder, maybe. And one last thing, I promise. The iPad on the left in the cockpit, the brightness on the app is pretty low for me on my own sim. I'm not sure. I know this one, I believe, has. Just look in the top right or something, just like any other tablet. They should probably have some options. Here you have a brightness for this one, for instance, so that works. But I don't know. Sometimes there might be an option in the top right. Just you can't really break it, you know. Just click some random buttons like I do, and you know, if you start tumbling down, you did something wrong. Right, let's see what's going on down here. So we have Callsign X24, cruising 360, and we can also get our winds, so let's just do that. So we get all the winds. So it's both climbing and descent winds. So we got climb winds here. Next phase, we got our descent winds, so we can just return. Okay, so now for the flight plan. Let's see what are all of the styling of go routing and impacts. So I believe def route, I believe it stands for default route. I'm not really sure. Anyway, our departing runway 12 right, we got the TISAK 3 hotel departure. So always first choose the correct runway. So 12 right, and then you select the departure, and it is in our case TISAK 3 hotel. TISAK 3 hotel, there it is. No transition, so we just insert it, and that is now it. And then here at the bottom we have Echo Hotel, so we can actually do the same for our arrival. We did this yesterday and then the winds changed. I'll be flying while watching your stream. That's so nice, man. We were watching the stream, might not be able to chat if that's okay. Everything is okay, legal. Just have some fun, man. It's very nice of you to chill with us. Thank you so much. And you just do whatever you please, my friend. You know, it's all good. Just have some fun, man. And thank you so much for saying hi. I really appreciate it. It's nice to do these things together, you know. And let me know how it goes every now and then. I'm curious. And if you feel, you know, sometimes you'll have your hands full. That's okay too. Alright, so our arrival will be at runway 21, and we got the ROTEK 3 Echo arrival. So again, first we will select our runway, and let's see, ILS X-ray, LX X-ray 21. I don't know why, but I think I once picked up that usually you, I don't know, you take the first, which would be Zulu. I'm just in the habit of doing that. So we got ILS Zulu for 21. And where are you flying? Where are you flying today, Lego? I may have missed it. I don't believe you said. Let's see, we got the ROTEK 3 Echo. Just quickly double check for sanity's sake. ROTEK 3 Echo, okay. Oops. Yeah, so we can insert, there's no transition. Vias, no. So let's insert that. And then hope for the best. We could maybe set up the secondary flight plan just in case that we have the opposite, but we can do that while cruising. Watching your streams are making me confident to start my first flight of VATSIM. That's so cool, man. I love it. Gonna be doing Manchester to Heathrow. Cool. That will be a nice short flight. Nice. Sorry. That sounds like a nice and cool flight. It's nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. It's nice. Good luck. Manchester to Heathrow. wind data uplink, so that is being uploaded to the system. That's probably done by now. So we should have the entire flight plan. So before we go any further, let's just review the flight plan here. And it might actually also not be bad to again say out loud all the names, because if there's at some point some controller telling us go direct, I don't know, Brali, and we're like, what the hell is that, you know? Because they're not words that we're used to, right? They're just basically, in a way, they're sort of random letters. So we got so we got Papa Alpha VOR. I think this is the message for our flight controls. That's we can ignore that again. So we got Papa Alpha TISAK, TONDO, OKORA, BEGLA, FMD, Foxtrot Mike Delta VOR, DITIS, VARIK, KATCE, Whiskey Romeo Bravo VOR, DOMEG, ROTEK, EHEH, and that is then the flight plan discontinuity. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. Usually I will just do something here myself, but since we're flying online, and at this moment Eindhoven is actually online. Let me see if they're still online by the time I'm saying this. Looks like they are. No, I don't think they are. No, they are not anymore. Okay, so we're doing it on VATSIM, but there's no control. But there might be some controllers in the meantime. For now, we'll leave it like this. So that is the flight plan setup. Then the secondary flight plan will just, for now, we'll just copy the actors. And the inner B page. So let's actually start the boarding. I'm totally forgetting about that. So request boarding. So this is a really cool custom scenery for Belgrade Airport. Actually, it comprises of two sceneries. One is the airport, and one is to make the airport, the runways, to actually add the second runway. And you can download these for free from flightsim.to. That's what I got them. Okay, so what's happening with the boarding? Boarding requested. So we're now basically waiting for the baggage handlers, I guess. And we got the air stairs coming here. Just do not see any baggage loaders yet.
Do you want to board crew?
Would love to board the crew. They're asking me to board the crew, but I have no option. The GSX sometimes can be a little bit, what's the word, fidgety. A little bit quirky. It's boarding passengers. Okay, so it's just doing its own thing. So let's go Fenix and mass imbalance. And we'll say load aircraft, and we'll say GSX boarding only.
Passengers boarding starting.
And then the fuel will be loaded instantly. That has my preference. Okay, so for some reason there's no luggage, there's no baggage loads. Usually we'll have these baggage handlers. It could have something to do with a compatibility with this custom. Yeah, so that's probably that with the custom scenery. Although, look at this. I think they're just a little bit late, and I'm just a little spoiled brat. Alright, cool. Let's everything. Let's just let them do all that stuff there. So that means we go to the init B page, and there is now not a button that we saw yesterday, so let's see how this is going to work. Zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight center of gravity, well, we can fetch those here. Zero fuel weight 44.2. That is actually changing now, 44.4. obviously because they're still loading. We're carrying 162 passengers. Cargo planned 2,430 kilograms, loaded 608. Fuel planned 8.5 and in tanks is 8.5. So we'll have the loading going on for a little bit. So now that the passengers are boarding and we are fully fueled, turn on the seatbelt signs. Let's also turn on the no smoking sign. Let's check the weather. Issued at 1200 Zulu. So 30 Zulu is current weather variable from 04 and then 04 knots. We got QNH 1020. Let me see in the options if I can play these two together. I'm not really sure. Seam settings, cabin controls. This is just the units. I'm not sure if this is possible. The panel states it would not be it. We have some settings here. Brightness, maybe graph, flight mode. Not sure. So I guess we'll just use both sides. So 1020, and we got it there as well. Still only constraints on both sides too. So we'll shoot up straight to our cruising altitude, 36,000 feet. There is no ATC for us, so we can just go ahead and do that. And let's go over our departure. So the TISAK 3 hotel, an RNF departure out of runway 12 right in our case. Taking us to Bravo Echo 201, then to Pančevo NDB, I guess. And then to TISAK at 6,000 feet or above. That's a very simple departure. Basically we fly out, turn left heading 009, and then turn left heading 326. If we want to see if this is correctly entered, we can watch here on the plan setting on our navigational display. And we'll see this perfectly as well. So we'll be taking off from runway 21. We'll be flying towards Bravo Echo 201. We'll take a left into 009 to the Pančevo NDB. Zoom out, and that's taking us to TISAK and so on. So that bit looks good. So back to ARC. Now here we can go ATSU, AOC menu, and let's see if there's received messages. So we're getting our preliminary load sheet from the company. So it's saying here expected zero fuel weight 59.2. So we could maybe use this for now, 59.2. But we will get the final load sheet later. 59.2 / and zero fuel weight center of gravity. Not sure if that is on here. This stuff is always it's not my strongest point. I'm telling you. Ground services mass and balance 32.9. Let's just enter something and we can change this later. 32.9. So now we got fuel planning. So let's see what that does. Block fuel 7.2. fuel 8.5, so that looks a little bit weird. So we're not doing that. So block fuel 8.6. So we're not going to confirm. 8.6 for the block fuel. There you go. So just stand by 1 second, please. Let's see what's going on. See for still boarding. With 100 of 162 passengers currently boarded. So I think for now we can just carry on. So we got 59.2, 32.9. So the zero fuel weight is simply just still growing. And later we can just send it straight to the MCDU. So for the performance page, let's see if we can do this now, or maybe we should not. Not really sure. Checking the pilots. Oh, looks like Belgrade is back online. So let's first open the ATIS information 125.025.
Zulu, wind variable at 4, cav OK, temperature 25, dew point is information alpha 123, 0 Zulu, wind variable at 4, cav OK, temperature 25, dew point 8, QNH 1020 hectopascals, trend, no significant changes, transition level 110, expect ILS approach runway 12 left. Arrange to vacate via RTWO notices to air missions, no clearance required to cross runway 12 right. This was Belgrade is information, Alpha. Belgrade is information Alpha 1230 Zulu, wind variable at 4, cav OK, temperature 25. Dew point 8, QNH 1020 hectopascals, trend, no significant changes. Transition level 110, expect ILS approach runway 12 left, Arranged to vacate via RTWO notices to air missions, no clearance required to cross runway 12 right. This was Belgrade's information. Alpha.
Alright, we got information Alpha then.
Belgrade's information Alpha 1230 Zulu. Wind variable at 4. Cav OK. Temperature 25. Dew point 8.
Right, so let's listen to the Belgrade ground on 118.3. And then we can get our clearance. And you know, maybe we'll get some different clearance, you know. It could be. So we'll see. For now, we're prepared for runway 12 right with the departure that we entered. The TISAK 3 hotel or something. I never remember all these names off the top of my head. But happy to see that Belgrade is back online. Always makes it a lot more fun when you're choosing to fly on VATSIM, right? Let's see what the boarding is doing. 148 passengers. So let's see if we can request a clearance. Let's have our OFP with us. So TISAK 3 hotel out of 12 right. And transition altitude will be 110. Information Alpha, we got QNH 1020. Belgrade ground over done, this is Wizz 812, parked at stand Alpha 10. QNH, we got information Alpha requesting IFAR clearance to Eindhoven.
Wizz 812, information Alpha correct, clear to destination. Near the TISAK 3 Zulu departure, runway 1 to left, initial climb 6000, squawk 5236.
Clear to via the TISAK 3 Zulu departure out of 12 right, squawk 5236. Wizz 812.
With 812, a firm runway 1 to left.
My apologies, runway 12 left.
With 812, copy tracking.
Okay, so we got the TISAK 3 Zulu, so let's set up for that one. So we can go back to flight plan. Departure 12 left, that's cool because that's actually the new runway. 12 left. TISAK 3 Zulu. Insert. Let's go to our plan page, see what that looks like. It's much short of the same deal, it's just slightly different, obviously. But okay, we'll make that work, that's cool. So this one can go, so we could probably just change it here on Navigraph. To change to 12 left. And we'll change TISAK 3 Zulu. That's easy as hell. TISAK 3 Zulu. So let's have a look at that one. Out of 12 left. looks like this is VOR based on outbound radio 349 from the Belgrade VOR. But the aircraft will do this for us anyway. So we got the runway 12 left for our departure now. That's cool, but that's one of the new runways. And I can show you as well. Because Belgrade, in the simulator, actually, by default, has only one runway. But in real life, they have two runways. And this custom scenery that I installed now has two runways. And yesterday we were landing in the opposite direction, so 30 right. But then, since the runway was still under construction in that scenery, we were unable to cross here because it was there was a blockade. So that is now all good. So this will actually be the first time that I'll be flying successfully, hopefully, from this runway. So I'm quite pleased actually to see that we have the runway 12 left, so we can actually immediately start using the new scenery. Let's just make this a little bit faster. There you go. Alright. I think boarding is completed. Let's just double check. Cool. Boarding completed. So then we set the squawk code 5236. 5236. Take aircraft loaded. So now we go back, Fenix, mass and balance. So 59.4. So the NSB page, 59.2, that should now be 59.4. And here's the forward slash situation again. So if we do 59.4 and do forward slash but not enter anything, it should remain 32.9, but it should only change that one there. So let's see if this works here as well. And it does. So 59.4. Block fuel 8.6. That is correct. We can send to MCDU, why not? Probably doesn't change a thing. So we can accept our preliminary load sheet, and we should now probably also get the final load sheet as well. 1244. 59.4. Takeoff weight 67.8. Passengers 162 plus 5. So we can accept that. So that means we're about ready. So let's start up the APU. I'll turn on the beacon since we're about to start our engines. I'll turn on the fuel pumps. So finally, performance, departure performance, 12 left, sync load sheet, so it's the final load sheet, sync live weather. It's actually saying yes, 1020, backs will be off, calculate, V1 153, rotate 153, V2 154, transition altitude 10,000, it's actually 11,000, flaps 1. Flex takeoff temperature 70 degrees. So we just sent to MCDU, making our lives a little bit easier. Look at that. And we'll set 11,000 feet manually for the transition altitude. Then I think we're ready to go. So have a look outside. Let's clean up the aircraft. ground services. See the APU, is that running? APU is available. Turn on the APU bleed. Again, turn off the external power. And we disconnect the external power and we remove the chocks and the cones. So I'm not sure about the doors. They actually appear closed, so I guess we can just start requesting push and start. We are squawking. Let's lock the flight deck door now. And get some intake lights down here as well, although it's actually currently quite bright. Now before we request our taxi clearance, this is what I said yesterday as well. It can never hurt to have first have some look at the airport. So what can we expect? We want to be at 1 to left. Oh, it's actually 1 to left. Yeah, no, that's it. No, I'm confusing myself. So 1 to left. So that will be, if we go from this point, that will be via Tango. Then very likely Yankee. Let's see what this is. Yankee. Which one is Yankee? Which one is Alpha? Getting a little bit confusing. Unless they tell us to go via Delta 2, that's maybe also possible. In any case, we are here. Alpha 10, so push back out to Golf, so push back facing north-east. That is for GSX pushback with the nose to the right. That gets us onto Golf, and we'll probably take a left on Alpha. And we continue on Alpha. And this will probably become Yankee, I'm not really sure. And that will take us to via Bravo. So then at least you have some idea. So before you start asking and start noting it down, then sort of know what you can expect, you know. That really helps my brain out a lot in processing the data in real time. There's accents, there's speed, there's things going on. Belgrade, ground whiskey, standby. I think I screwed up my call sign. Belgrade ground, Wizz 812 requesting push and start.
With 812, push and start approved, facing north QNH 1020, runway 1 to left.
Push start approved, QNH 1020, Wizz 812. Alright. So GSX. Let's get this party going. Perfect pushback and departure.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear.
The Iron 1 displaying a fault. That's new to me. I'm not really sure how to troubleshoot this one. This is bogus, that's okay. Let's go data. Position monitor. IRS monitor. GPS monitor. I don't know, if you ask me, it looks fine. But that's me. Okay, so push start is approved. Let's take off. In any case, we can always disconnect if we have to. Continue push back. Nose to the right, tail to the left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, engine number 1. So that's our departure route.
Parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
I think I see what I did wrong. I put it on crank. Should be at ignition start. Engine number 1. Because I was looking, I see nothing. There's no N2, there it comes. No EGT. That's engine number 1, EGT is dropping, and engine number 1 is available. Engine number 2. I guess we have hydraulics now for the flaps.
Behind you.
There you go.
Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply...
EGT still rising on engine number 2. Can set our auto brake to max. And let's arm the ground spoilers. The famous clunk. Engine number 2 available. Let's confirm good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
There goes the bypass pin.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright. Belgrade, ground with a right 12, request taxi for 12 right, 12 left, correction. Request taxi for 12 left with a right 12.
With 812, taxi for 1 Bravo, 1 to left, vehicle is in Alpha.
Holding point Bravo via Golf and Alpha with a right 12. So holding point Bravo via Golf and Alpha. That's holding point Bravo, so that's Golf and Alpha. Okay, cool. So easy enough. Turn on the nozzle steering lights. To taxi. Runway turn off lights. Can turn off the APU. The APU bleed now that the engines are running. So let's get going. Park and brake release. If you want to watch your ground speed, not to exceed 30 knots, you can check here GS ground speed in the navigational display, the top left corner. The cabin crew reporting ready.
The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you.
Wizz 812, monitor Unicom 122.8. Have a great flight. Thank you for flying.
Unicom 122.8, follow put up 3 out, no, bye bye. Let's go to Unicom, let's set the parking brake first. One, two, two. Decimal 8. Parking brake released. Cool, so we'll go to runway 1 to left. That's the first time for me. Let's hold short here for 1 second. Set the parking brake. See if there's any incoming traffic. Doesn't look like it. Cabin crew, take off. Belgrade traffic. Lining up runway 12 left for departure. TISAK 3 Zulu. Belgrade traffic. Parking brake released. Let's line up. We'll turn on the landing lights. Here we go, runway 12 left. That's so cool. Finally. Alright, let's hold short for a second here. Auto brake max, TGS is on standby. Set our parking brake. TARA. We have flaps 1. No, it goes back to flaps 1. Let's do the takeoff config test. Takeoff config normal. So we'll start the timer. Zoom in a little bit. Parking brake release. And we go for flex MCT. Definitely some wind pulling on the aircraft. Alright, rotate. Off to the right, gear up. We now follow the flight directions. For a left turn. turn on the autopilot. Thrust levers to climb. Have a look outside, there is Belgrade City, look at that. Goodbye Belgrade, see you soon hopefully. So we got speed restriction 169, and we can see that the aircraft holding it is now starting to accelerate, and then there comes a right turn. So you can see here as well, max speed 170. Flaps up. Unless that might be a little bit early, let's see. Well, back to flight plan. So after TISAK it says flight plan discontinuity. Let's investigate. So we'll just delete that, and we'll take us straight to Tondo after TISAK. Okay, so a couple of things. We can put the engine mode selector back to norm and disarm the ground spoilers. We're going straight to 36,000 feet now. Transition altitude 11,000 feet. So at 11,000 feet we'll switch from local QNH to standard QNH or standard barometric pressure. That point is here, so we pull to standard and we'll do the same on this side. There you go. So 10,000 feet, nose is dropping. Turn off the landing lights. And seatbelt sign can be turned off too. So I got AP1, 1 FT2, auto thrust as it climbs. And we got 3 dots, so everything is in managed mode. And looks like we are on our way. We're still not sure about the default that we have here. Part of me wants to click sorry. But yeah, for now we're still flying and navigating. I'm like, you know what, let's just leave it. Get back to the flight deck now. TISAK 4.3 nautical miles. We'll take a left turn onwards to Tondo. We're at standard pressure. We're going for flight level 360. We're climbing at 2,200 feet. Here's the left turn towards Tondo. So let's check the weather at Eindhoven. This was issued 12:25, so it's update 12:25, that's it. Wind 250, 13 knots, gusting up to 26. So with runway 21 we'll have like a 40 degree, well, wind coming from 40 degrees of our right and front, so that's not too bad. But it is quite gust, 13 degrees, 13 knots is quite a lot of wind. When gusts up to 26 knots is definitely noticeable. Visibility 10 miles. Overcast 1600 feet, so it's quite low clouds, 17 degrees, QNH 1016. I'm not sure what the WHT stands for. Temporary 270, wind 15 knots, gusting up to 25 knots. Says few 8s. Do we have an 8? Eindhoven observation echo. Expect CDO approach to ILS X-ray. Runway 21 for arrivals and departures, condition level 40. Wind 250 degrees, 13 knots, maximum 26 knots, wind variable between 200 and 290. Visibility 10 kilometers, overcast 1600 feet, temperature 17. We have all this information here as well. Confirm Eindhoven information echo on first contact. So ILS X-ray. Let's see if Eindhoven is still online currently. No, they're not. So basically we can do whatever the hell we want. But there might be some stations in between. So I'll be stepping off into the galley to get a refreshing drink and maybe a little bit of chocolate. So I will be right back. We'll just keep cruising like this for now. Stand by 1 moment, please. so here we are again. Get ourselves onto the flight deck. See if everything still going as it's supposed to. So AP1, 1F2, auto thrust, thrust climb, climb nav. $17 minutes into the flight. Unfortunately, Eindhoven is not yet back online. That would have been nice. Let me check a V-pilot. There's no other stations having contacted us while I was gone. One station is now coming into range. Okay. See what the messages here are doing. So we got load sheet, that's all. So I guess we can unlock the flight deck door. Let's open it. We should see the passengers spawn in. Look at that. Let's not look at them. Let's just look once they're all spawned in. So for Eindhoven, top of climb coming up, 1331. It's in about 2 minutes. Cockpit 24, forward and left into 325. So let's make sure it's a little bit cooler. Cockpit, I don't mind if it's a little bit colder. That should start to change. Let's have a look at this, AOG. So we can get rid of this chart. Are we even on here? No longer. Then we got the ROTEK 3 Echo. It's taking us very simple from ROTEK to initial approach fix EHEH. Approach charts for Eindhoven. Runway 21, ILS Zulu or localizer. Runway 21. So after AOG we should probably be getting final fix to 1. So I hate you, there's a deceleration point, flight plan discontinuity, and then status fix to 1, final fix to 1. Status fix to 1 should actually be there as well then. Which one is that? I don't think I see it. Let's set up some things on our fixed page. 2,000 feet, 213. So 033 will be the reciprocal. 6.1 from Echo Hotel Oscar. 6.1. So, fix info. It would be final fix to 1. not doing this. We need our runway, so stand by. Flight plan. It's called Echo Hotel 21. Radio 033. 6 miles. Again 033. And also one ring at 15 miles. But now if we go to our plan page, we should be able to see all that. Let's go flight plan. Something looks funny. But 6 should be going. We should have 6 nautical miles in the radius. There you go. Now we have 2 circles. One is 6 nautical miles, one is 15 nautical miles, and they are both drawing the extended runway center line for our runway. That's looking a little bit better, I guess. Decision altitude, 200 feet radio altitude. So it's nice to be flying the Airbus A320 again. As I said, I've been getting so enormously used to these to all these Boeings and also the MD-11 that it was a bit of a challenge to get my head around the Airbus again. Well, actually the Airbus was the first plane in Flight Simulator 2020 that I really started to get into all the details, and then later I purchased the PMG 737 700, and from there on I started to get that was a bit weird coming from the Airbus to fly Boeing, and then now actually flying from Boeing to do Airbus again is a little bit of a challenge. I'm glad to be doing this 2 days in a row now, and maybe later today I will do another flight using the Boeing again. So we'll see what's going to happen. You know, both the Airbus and the Boeing have their own unique qualities, you know. So there's our passengers finally loaded in. This lady's looking right at us. Hello. So from ROTEK, it is sending us to a EHEH that's not going to work at all. And since there will not be any ATC, we will not fly towards EHEH. So we could maybe see if we can create a waypoint of our own. This is going to be a problem when there will be actually ATC online. So let me keep on checking. And if there is ATC, we'll just request vectors. There is no ATC currently. Now, if you want to have a waypoint from descent and fix, the F21, I am going to try what I do in the Boeing. Might be that here the format is a little bit different, but let's try it out. So let's say 15, let's say 20 nautical miles. So 033 to CF21. Let's start by doing that. So we just type in CF21. I have no clue if this is going to work. CF21. Heading 033 /20 miles. So go to the flight plan and we would say insert this, for instance, at EHEH. Place waypoint mismatch, okay? At least something. So then I guess we do with that. So center fix 21 heading 033 for 20 nautical miles. Place / waypoint mismatch. Okay. Very mysterious. I mean, it's only mysterious if you don't know how it works. If we delete the continuity, can we do that here? Start. Try one more time. Let's take place waypoint mismatch. So let me see what I can find on this. This is obviously looking horrendous. So we could at some point just, once we are flying towards EHEH, we can then just do a direct. So from ROTEK we could do a direct to center fix, but that's a little bit early. I would like to have some waypoint before. You could also check on the chart if there's any waypoints there. Not this one. I don't think we'll be getting a waypoint from here. That would not work out. And here perhaps. Gilif, but that is maybe a little bit far out. But we could try Gilif. Let's just see what that's going to look like. We don't have to answer it. So we just type in Gilif. Actually very close to the center fix, not close enough. I mean, it's way too close actually. So EHEH will not be using that. Alright, so let's get back to the passenger seats and let me see what I can find. I'll be right back. ChatGPT is thinking about my question. Stand by 1 second. What the hell is this? Yeah, it looks like it's lagging there, man. Okay. See if we require another forward slash. I'm expecting that to be the answer, but I don't know. So center fix 21 forward slash 033 forward slash 20. Because it didn't say anything about the format really, it just said waypoint and place mismatch. Let's see what this does. There you go, that's it. Do we have an answer actually? No, it's still thinking, what the hell, man. Okay. And I'm guessing that would be this one, 52 north, 6 east. I think this for the Netherlands, 509 nautical miles. We could see on our progress page, center fix 21. We type that in. Duplicate names. Yeah, but I'm just checking how far we are. Okay. Well, in that case, it doesn't matter what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so let's go to the flight plan and we'll see. So distance 541. Yeah, that should probably be it, right? Does not really say the distance here. But okay, I'll take this one. So insert, does it show where? Oh, that looks like it's going to be that one. So from ROTEK we go there. I see. Okay, so 20 miles is actually lit. That's a bit far. Yeah, I was thinking actually it should be 5 miles then. So the erase. See if ChatGPT maybe woke up in the meantime. There it is. Yeah, exactly. So it's a forward slash. Well, didn't need it after all. Charlie Foxtrot 21 forward slash 033. So then we'll say. Let's go 7 miles. And we want this one. And that's playing it right there at the 15 nautical mile range rig. And that's a lot more acceptable for me. So let's do that. So we can insert. So now it still looks funny. Because basically actually after ROTEK we should go there. See what the flight plan is telling us. So EHEH, were we unable to delete that? Looks like now we can. Alright, so from ROTEK to PBD02. So we just delete flight plan, just continuity here. Insert. And then what are we missing? A ROTEK, okay. So we clear this continuity as well. That's looking perfect, very good. So from ROTEK we'll fly to PBD02 that we created off of 7621. I think that's going to work out for us, pretty nice. Let's see if Eindhoven is not online. Okay. But this will greatly help, you know, otherwise it just looks funny. Yeah, it needs vectoring and everything. I like to do it like this. Okay, so arc. And then it's top of descent. Top of descent at 14, 43 or 49, I can't read. 1449, top of descent. That's a little under 1 hour.
Heavy traffic, Alpha Star 366 Hotel is lining up and taking off runway 16
Cool, that's another pilot talking to surrounding traffic on Unicom. And up ahead there might be some more stations around Germany, Düsseldorf and Bonn. So we'll see what's going to happen. Oh, looks like simulator's not responding. There you go. Always gives me a scare, man. Fuel flow around 1100 kilograms per hour per engine. This company message. Let's see what what they want. ATSU, AOC, and then received messages. Wizz Ops. Really, I think we departed late for 12 minutes. Okay. Delay allocation car. I always do OVH for Auburn. That will be fine. Sorry, sir. ADC delay. So we're sending on a company basically a reason for the delay. So OTH. I believe they said 12 minutes. Then once we receive signal that they received it, actually, it will say company message here again, and that means it will have a new message waiting for us, and the received messages directly, if you will. That should be this company message. There it is. There it goes. Just to confirm ADC received. So. fly between my strings. What is it? Alright. Let's put the thing away. Hey man, guess today isn't your day? Oh, I have days like those. What's happening? Did you land upside down? Did you land upside down on the grass? I have these days, man. Did you fly to Heathrow? Half an hour. Wait. Get out of this noisy place here. Literally spent an hour trying to start the bloody plane. Still hasn't started. Restarted the flight many times, followed every procedure, engines aren't even starting. Did everything right, even opened up videos to see if there's something wrong. Thought I'd do, oh man, that's so disappointing. I know exactly how you feel, man. You're flying the A320 Neo, right? The fly-by-wire. Let's get back to the flight deck. One thing I'm thinking of when you want to start the engines is the APU needs to be on. And not only the APU on, so here you start up the APU, you wait a couple of seconds, then you press start, that will start up the APU. Then, okay, so you can look if you want, etc., see the APU starting. At some point when it is started, it will say APU available. The point is, once the APU is available, you should turn on APU bleed. This is an absolute requirement for the engines to start on the A320. Can you confirm that you did that? I'm just hoping, like, this is like hit or miss, you know. I have no clue, obviously. I have no context other than what I read, right? But that is absolutely that's absolutely a requirement. Secondly, what's also not super hard required, but you will need to turn on your fuel pumps. I think you can still start the aircraft without the fuel pumps, but you probably run into problems. I don't have experience, but always turn on the fuel pumps before you start the engine. Turn on your APU, so master switch, then wait a couple of seconds, then press start. Once that is running, you turn on APU bleed. Just bleed, master switch, APU start, all of them were on. Check the display as well, it did show APU was on. Okay, that's very good to confirm. Fuel pumps were on even. Damn. Then down here, the mode selector switch should be on ignition start. So that could maybe be one thing. Oh wow, I hope that's not the case. Yeah, I did hear indeed that FS24 might be a little bit buggy. Do you know if the fly-by-wire is supported? Yeah, she put ignition start as well. Okay. What the hell, man? I can't stand this. I feel you. I feel legal. What the hell is it? So nothing happened. Yeah, it could be. I'm like that too. You know, like then it's probably the game. Like usually, I always try to think, well, probably I'm doing something wrong. You know, I think that in general, even. Yeah, you can also restart again. And it's 2024. Let me quickly double check online for you. Fly-by-wire A32NX, I believe it's called, right? 2024. I'm curious now, are they compatible? Probably they are. We will download, no. Let me ask my aunt ChatGPT. So the fly-by-wire A320NX, is it compatible with FS 2024? We got to get that plane started, my friend. So, APU was on, APU bleed was on, you confirmed that. You confirmed that the fuel pumps were on. Let me say something really stupid, I don't think that's it, but the fuel on board would be nice if there's fuel in the plane, but chances of there not being any fuel are extremely low. Promise you did everything right, even watch videos in case I made, yeah, there you go. What the hell, man? Yeah, it could be, you know, what you think. That there's just something that you cannot prepare for, which is, for instance, some buggy kind of situation. Maybe it's something to do with the installation location. Maybe, but then I would not expect you to actually be able to load the aircraft, but I don't know. And something you could consider legal is maybe to make use of, this is like an indirect, this is not like a direct solution, but when it comes to what you could consider is using the add-ons linker. And if you use that, then you can sort of keep your sim totally clean, and you just tell the add-ons linker, I only want to load in this particular add-on now. So if there are add-ons that otherwise are always loaded in, all of them together, there might be some unforeseen conflicts. One way to rule that out could be to make use of something like add-ons linker. That's something I use. And I open my add-ons linker and I say, these are the add-ons that I want to fly with. As opposed to loading everything in my community folder. Basically what it does is it places copies in your community folder. It places copies like shortcuts, temporarily. And that works like a charm. And that could at least be one way to to rule out that there might be some conflict with some other, add-on. So if you want to look externally, you think I did everything right, so it might be something externally, either a bug or some conflict, then that is at least one way to try and rule it out. Something else you could maybe do, I'm just thinking out loud here, man. You could try one of the Airbus A320 that come with flight simulator. I don't know what is in Flight Simulator 2024 by default, but I believe there is also the A320. And maybe try the startup sequence there. If that works, when you follow the exact same steps, then it must be something related to the fly-by-wire. Either the plane itself or some conflict. Let's see if ChatGPT woke up now. She's still I don't know what's going on with my ChatGPT today. She's so slow. Like extremely slow. See, Eindhoven not yet online. See, still working. Okay. Restarting my game. We give the default. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I know that I was the one saying it, but I mean, yeah, I think that could be, that's a good way to check your procedures. If you think like, well, this procedure should work, then try it in another plane, and preferably the A320, and there is one, so that's I think that's a very good starting point to at least see if the procedures are okay. And maybe there's something with the installation, I do remember you mentioning something about the liveries not showing. So there might be something, perhaps you should just uninstall and reinstall the fly-by-wire, A320NX. That could, but you don't have to do that right away, I guess. But that's you know, at least keep that into consideration too. Just to rule out conflicts. I could not think of anything else. You have the engine start switches. Obviously you click one to go up. You had it on ignition / start, so that is good. Can't think of anything else, man. I think even, well, your battery should be on. External power, I don't think it's actually a requirement. If there could be situations where there is no external power available, but you will always have the batteries on. Let's rule out, let's skip the external power. So batteries on, APU on, APU bleed on, fuel pumps. Yeah, I really think that should be it. And then the mode selector to ignition start, and then you start with the engines. I'm really curious. Let's see if my ChatGPT is waking up. Something went wrong about generating the response. If this issue persists, okay, let's just click retry. Crying out loud, man. Well, just use Google, I guess. Yes, the fly-by-wire is compatible with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Okay. You could also maybe double-check you downloaded the correct fly-by-wire. So what if you downloaded by accident? I'm not saying you're an idiot, you know, but I'm just trying to troubleshoot the problem for you. 2024 even has something called engine covers, which can prevent the engine from starting if they are on. Oh wow, okay. Although I did check and had no engine covers, probably for default. Yeah, I agree. Check for covers too, okay. What the hell could that be, man? Let me know. I'm curious if your startup flow does work with the default A320. Because that could really be insightful. If that works, then you don't no longer have to doubt yourself. You know what I mean? And then you doubt the installation or whatever, or some conflicts. And I'm thinking maybe one day I could do a video showing the add-on linker that I use. To me that works like a charm, because I used to have all my aircraft, all my liveries, all in the community folder, all of it. And if I load everything, that is about twice or 3 times the size of my entire installation. And Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 would just take ages to load, ages. And right now it boots up fine, because I'm only loading up the aircraft that I use, and it's even probably quicker. Let's say I load it to into the simulator with one aircraft. Well, now I'm in the main menu. Let's say I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Actually, I do want to use a different plane. I just close the simulator, go to add-ons linker, choose another airplane, load it up. That process for me is even quicker than it used to be. If that makes sense. Then even if I will be in the simulator quicker than if everything is in there that would still have been loading. Can we start? I'm gonna try the A321X first. If it's having problems, I'll use the default one. Drop an add-on video. Cool, man. Yeah, maybe that could be interesting. And never really, you know, I mainly focus on flying and the experience, you know, because I like immersion, I like to have some fun and experience. But it might actually be an interesting thing to share, you know. So maybe that's really something to consider. You know, I'm so happy once I discovered the add-ons linker. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that. I have to look into that, and maybe I'll just show this one day. And it could really help people out, you know. It helped me out a great deal. I think that might be on top of the descent there, a little bit before the DOMEG. There's DOMEG top of descent, 1451. So 41 minutes will be our top of descent. So what are we looking at? Fuel on board 5.3. That's still quite a lot. I believe we started out with, or what was it? I'm confusing myself. Summary and fuel. We started at 8.4. No, 8.6. Okay, that's so we did burn some fuel. Estimated fuel on board when landing 3.6. We're now 1 hour, 1 minute into the flight. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. This is just to let you know the wings are not on fire. I repeat, the wings are not on fire. On behalf of Wizz Air and the entire crew, thank you for your attention. Okay, so let's go to Messel then. Now to see if Eindhoven might be online. Nope. And Lego, you could also try, if you're using the fly-by-wire, to at least load it with the default livery, just so to rule out any other conflicts maybe. Okay, so small update. If it matters or not, again try to turn the engines on. Still isn't, but I'm getting a small message in engine generator that it is faulty. Engine generator that it is faulty. By the way, speaking of faults, we're still flying with a fault here in the IR1. I'm scared of turning it off and on, so I'm just going to leave it since we're just still flying. But that's an interesting point. If this were a Boeing, it would be different, because in the Boeing, you will, unlike in the Airbus, in the Boeing, you will need to, once your APU is running, you will need to turn on the APU generators. But the Airbus does it automatically. So once the engines are running, like in the Boeing, once the engines are running, you need to switch from APU to engine generators. The Airbus should do this automatically, so I'm not really sure how to troubleshoot that one, if it says there's a fault in the engine generator. You could maybe also check if there is like a random failures enabled. Could also be that there's just that it's a simulation thing, and that, you know, that they think that you would like to troubleshoot the problem, which basically you're doing now, but not quite voluntarily, I guess. So that's maybe a thing to check as well. So probably in the electronic flight bag, there's probably some setting somewhere where you can confirm whether failures are simulated, like here as well, failures. There is let's have a look at this, failed. Search, oops, no, don't want this. How do I get out of this? Should be nothing armed, reload. Go back to failures. I don't know. So here you have failures as well. What does it show across? I'm not even really familiar with this page, because I never use it. We did see navigation. Let's click navigation now. Oops. How do I scroll down the hard way? IR fault, IR1, IR2, IR3, IRS position failure, ADR fault, IRS alignment, idle block. Default fly-by-wire delivery. Okay, yeah, that's good. Then that at least can rule out some other things. Gonna try the default. Yeah, do that. I agree. Yeah, so the default A320 Neo. Yeah, that's a good idea. And if that doesn't work, then you know then it's probably an interesting learning experience for you. Because probably you're making a mistake. But from what I hear, it sounds like you know what you're doing. You know. So yeah, so could be so many things. If it's software related, you know, sky's the freaking limit, you know. Could be really anything. Well, let me know. I'm curious to know if it works for the default A320. On the way to VARIK, 36 miles, 1423. In about 5-6 minutes. The thing is, fly-by-wire A320 Neo is extremely accurate, absolutely. It's much better than the one provided, yes, absolutely. In this case, it's not working well. What do you mean? You mean the A320 Neo, sorry, the default A320, that is not working as well? That's also not starting? Do I understand you correctly? Legal. Because if that is the case, that's relatively good news, because then you know that there's some step that you're probably missing. And once you find that out, you will never forget that, believe me. At least I know, if I know myself, when I make like a really stupid mistake. You know.
Approach, good afternoon, Lufthansa 1692, with you descending.
This guy's thinking he's talking to approach, which is actually... Hi Captain, looks like you're speaking to us on Unicom, just for your information. Like the A320 Neo from fly-by-wire, the engines aren't starting, that's a problem. Besides that, it's good. Loading in with the default. Ah, okay, you're loading in right now still, yeah. At the top of descent, 1452. It's about 25 minutes. And we'll do some weather checks momentarily. Keep the range at 320. The Eindhoven still not online, that's okay. I'm curious to hear how it progresses. So let's go sit on the left side. I'll be stepping off for just like 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. When I get back, we'll check the weather for Eindhoven and see if there's anything we can do to prepare for our descent. So nobody go nowhere, and I'll be right back. we're back. Hey, and Lego, I was thinking, when I was AFK, I was thinking, maybe you're probably already doing this, but just to be sure, just load up the aircraft at, you're probably loading it up at the gate, right? Yeah, if you load it up at the runway, it should probably start already. So maybe this is just nonsense what I'm saying. Well, keep me updated. I'm curious to know what's going on. So a little bit before DOMEG, will be top of descent in about 30 minutes from now. Let's see, during my absence, maybe some stations require our attention. No, so that's good. Update, the default A320 started up. Okay, that's good, but not the fly-by-wire. Even get the fly-by-wire A320 Neo 5 minutes to start. And that's so interesting. Then that might be good news, that at least you're not crazy. Well, you could still be crazy, but at least not by this benchmark. But then it looks like you're doing things correctly. I really like everything about the fly-by-wire. Just why when, I don't know. But yes, the fly-by-wire is a good plane, man. So don't give up on it. I would probably suggest maybe just uninstall it completely. Like completely uninstall it. Yes, you should reinstall it, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure to completely uninstall it, I guess, and then just reinstall it again. And maybe after reinstalling, just restart your computer and then load it up in the sim. That can sometimes really make a difference, those things. You know, whether we understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes, program-wise, we don't know, but, you know. So I'm not sure the weather gain tilt, yeah, so this should be our weather thing here, but I don't think that's working. And do we still have default up there? We do. IRS-1, but well, at least we can fly. Like these little lights here at the end of the week. Small catch, the engines are started up. But the small catch is the engines are started up just fine if I spawn on the runway. Yeah, exactly. And I won't start even if you use a shortcut. Yeah, Control E. Yeah, so the plane works. I have no clue, man, what that would be. But yeah, just uninstall it and reinstall. See if that makes a difference. And really, after reinstalling it, I don't think it can hurt to restart your computer even, you know, just to be sure. And are you using the stable version? Because I believe, if I remember correctly, I haven't flown the fly-by-wire A320X in a long time. But I believe they have a stable version and they have like the experimental version. They used to have a couple of years ago at least. So that could be a thing. Stable version, okay, copy. I'm glad to hear that that your procedures work. You know, they work in a different aircraft, so it's definitely the aircraft, or at least like the installation. That might still be something else, software related. You know, it doesn't have to be the flight line itself. That's as far as I understand it, there's nothing wrong with it. So there must be some other reason, but at least you're not crazy, you know. So I guess that's good. Like I make some stupid mistakes sometimes, and sometimes I have to make them a couple of times. And like sometimes, like after one time I learn, but sometimes it takes me a couple of tries, and I simply forget what I did earlier or something, you know. Like in the Boeing 737, sometimes I would get this this error message, and it would just mean that it says here then flight control, and I was like, what the hell? What's wrong with the flight controls? And apparently up here there's the in the Boeing 737, up here there's the yaw damper, and that simply wasn't on. Something simple as that, you know. And I forgot that a couple of times. Racking my brain, like, what the hell is going on? Flight control, everything looks fine, you know. And, yeah, that was one example. I've had this on the channel, you know, on the stream, a couple of times, where I was like, no clue, man. And you know, there's a lot of things happening. You know, there's yeah, it's simulated really well. So there's also a good chance that you're doing something wrong, you know. But your procedure works. The default 320 started up. That's a good starting point. Yeah, let me know, man, how it goes. I can't help myself. I have to see if I can find anything. And you said there was an error. Let's see. Wait, there are a few posts here of the flightbar A2 to next engine is not starting after pushback. Okay. And I'm checking with ChatGPT as well. Your friend likely hasn't done anything glaringly wrong, but this faulty engine generator caution is normal before engine starts in the A320X and not necessarily a failure. By default, warning appears with engine stopped. Engine IDGs are offline, so the overhead panel shows generator 1/2 fault, which is expected. Once an engine starts and its generator comes online, the fault clears out automatically. Then there's saying the correct cold and dark start procedure. Batteries on, external power is available, fuel pumps, APU master, start APU, wait for APU avail, then on, APU bleed on, engine mode selector to ignition start, engine 2 master on, monitor ECAM, and one rising, engine spools, generator comes online, fault clears. And then repeat for engine 1, one stable, ENG mode, norm, APU bleed off. Tip, avoid using Control E, it skips electrical logic and creates issues. So, avoid using Control E, it says. Common pitfalls to check. Fuel pumps off, but you have them on. APU bleed missing, we can rule that out. Controller mapping. A hardware switch temporarily turn generator off. Check your throttle quadrant mapping. Conflicting mods, or A320 is not the latest version, so that's like software-wise. What your friend could do or should do, follow the exact sequence above, especially fuel pumps plus APU bleed before engine 2. Let ECAM stabilize until engine gen 2 shows on. Confirm no external switch, like from throttle panel or controller, is not plugging gen. If it still fails, what we're doing, clean reinstall A320X, remove community mods. Check that Microsoft Flight Simulator is fully updated using the latest A320X version. If issue persists, report on fly-by-wire Discord support. And there is a TLDR. Default on generator 1 and 2 before start is expected. It should clear automatically as each engine starts and its generator goes online, provided fuel pumps, APU bleed, and equipment mapping are correct. Follow the detailed start checklist above. Avoid Control E and ensure clean installation. It looks like we're on the right track here, Lego. And good that you found some boats there. We'll get it working. You know, sometimes these simulators may have a steep learning curve, but in this case, you know, it's not the aircraft that we're fighting, more like something software related. Seems it's a bug, okay. Well. And I would just reinstall it to start with. DOMEG, so let's have a look now at what we can expect for our approach briefing. So we're flying to the new waypoint after ROTEK. So basically we'll do sort of a straight in approach, really. Let's see, ROTEK. And then we'll turn on the localizer, and that should get us down. We do need to set up a couple of things. I believe 2,000 feet. Let's go for the final approach chart. 2,000 feet is where the glide slope starts. Let's dial in 2,000. The aircraft should not do anything unless we pull the button. Try again, uninstall it, and just finish installing again. Okay, cool, okay, exciting. Geronimo, good luck. Definitely some more clouds here where now that we're approaching Western Europe. Also, update came for the A320 Neo by fly-by-wire. Should check it out. Yeah, why not? have 2,000 feet. Let's do a weather check, and let's also really quickly see if Eindhoven might be online again. No, they are not. And we might be getting some flight following, if that's what it's called, but we might have to contact some stations, not sure. But then they'll just reach out to us. Okay, so weather, let's go back here, Phoenix. And let me start up the sky dolly so we can at least record the landing. That's recording. It's information 12:55, so 8 is not available. So there we do MEDAR. 1425, so I think that's the latest one. 250, 10 knots. Variable 200, 290, 10 kilometers. A little bit of rain. Broken clouds 2,000 feet. Overcast 2,500, 17 degrees, QNH 1016. Okay. So we dial in 2000, enter destination data, there you go. Okay, so performance, next phase. QNH 1016. Temperature 17, I believe. Wind 25010. 17 degrees. 25010. We can change that. 250 at 10 knots. Transition, I think it's 3000. Transition altitude 3000 feet. Doesn't like it. It wants FL 030. So this is now giving us final approach speed of 137 knots at full flaps. So the data has been entered to 1016, and we'll switch over at 3000 feet. I believe we cannot pre-dial in this one, but we can maybe see 1016 and then go pull it again. It's a bit weird, really, but it's the way I like to do it, and at least we have them on standby. AP1, 1 FT2, MAC, out cruise, nav, they're still doing fine here. And then top of descent in about 12 minutes or so. $14.54. Okay. So let's set this baby down at Eindhoven Airport again, where we left off yesterday. This aircraft has no checklist, right? It's actually quite interesting. It's quite an expensive aircraft if you buy it, so you would, but maybe they have checklists in like the manual or something that I never checked. pilot brief, but does this have checklist? There's documents. There you go, there's some sort of checklist in here. Quick reference handbook. Wow. Okay, we're not diving into this. It's a normal checklist. If I'm planning to get Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, no legal. I have a new computer. Actually, I still haven't updated my profile on YouTube. But I did buy a new computer. I used to have a laptop by Acer. Now it's just some, I don't know, some desktop, which is definitely an upgrade. Probably my system could run it, but I don't know. I have so many planes for this simulator. If I don't have to, I don't think I will. I'm perfectly content as it is now. Everything, I know how it works, so I'm fine. One thing I would really like is to be able to walk around the aircraft. You know, that's pretty cool. And I do like that the ground has a certain level of detail, and it has more colors. You know, it looks a little bit more like a real world, even better. So that's definitely cool. But the way they spawn these aircraft in, sometimes you can. I saw a video that this guy sitting in the aircraft, and the aircraft hasn't loaded fully. Yeah, and it has too many bugs, I guess. So hopefully that will change. But for now, I'm perfectly content flying this one. Departure change, that is not applicable. So basically approach. So there's no descent checklist really, as it looks like. Barrel left set both sides, seatbelt signs on, minimum auto brake, engine mode selected. As required, okay. Right, couple descent, about 5 minutes or so. Main good part 2024 is the map is streamed on cloud service rather than our computer. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I believe also the aircraft are streamed. And I would think, like, don't stream them, but have them locally, because that's the most important thing. Do you have any issues with that? This does use more internet than last time. Hey, and do you have that issue as well? So you load up an aircraft, you're sitting inside, and all the textures are still fuzzy, like for a while until everything loaded in properly. I mean, I would go insane. Do you have that issue, Legal? A couple of descent coming closer and closer. You're having that issue? Wow. Well, I'm not going to lie, I do not envy you. Yeah, but maybe they'll fix that later, you know. They roll this out. But these are expensive programs, you know, if you think about it. And, you know, I don't know, they're expensive programs, so you would like to assume that they have everything under control, you know, before they start selling it. They put a price tag on it and selling it. But sure, you know, you want to sell stuff, that's your right, but it would be nice if it works. It's not too much to ask, is it? Yeah. I hope the fly-by-wire is now working. You just reinstalled it. Have you tried it yet? Good luck, man. Okay, I hope it works too. Okay, top of the descent coming closer and closer. We do have a bit of a headwind. So we could maybe start the descent a little bit later, but we're just going to start right at the mark right there. 1451. Just 2 more minutes. We do a quick check and see if Eindhoven is back online. No, they are not. We're flying over Paderborn, Lippstadt Tower, Germany. And then there's another tower at Dortmund. Fly over there as well. And then we'll fly Düsseldorf ground there online as well. So don't think they will contact us at all. So as I said, unlike the Boeing, when you're flying at vertical navigation, TNAV, and you fly over the arrow basically, or what would in the Boeing looks different on your nav display, but the aircraft will just start descending as long as the altitude that you're flying at, the altitude in the window is lower than the altitude you're flying at, okay? In our case, we'll actually have to do it ourselves. I'm thinking we should probably start descending now. Let's see if we can do this managed mode, see what that's going to do. So we're in descent mode now. It means the engine should go back to idle. And like we're a little bit below the set profile, the green dot there, but that's coming closer and closer. Descending 2,300 feet and rising 2,600 feet, 700. So let's get my baby to Eindhoven. Setting 2,900 feet per minute. So on our way to DOMEG in 6 miles. Then ROTEK and then our custom waypoint, the BBD02. A little bit below the profile, so that's good. Oh man, all engines are refusing to start. That blows hairy monkey balls with cheese. I'm sorry for the classic. That sucks ass, man. What the hell is going on there? You're not doing anything wrong, really. At least not, you know, the other aircraft did start, the default one. Still getting engine generators faulty, if it has anything to do. Yeah, maybe not. As we found earlier, the message should go away once the engine starts. Which engine did you start first? The first one or the second one? I don't think it will make lots of difference, but maybe that's something to try. See, we're still nicely on the profile. Started N2 first. Alright. Could maybe try engine number 1. I know that, I mean, wouldn't make sense. I'm just throwing some random things here, you know, anything that comes up in my head. I know the SOP changed for all the Airbus pilots, that they would start engine number 2 first, and now all of a sudden they want you to start engine number 1. But, you know, that shouldn't make a difference. You can still do it. It's just a procedural change and not a technical change, you know. So it shouldn't make any difference, but I don't know, maybe worth giving that a shot. I have no clue, man. It sounds like really that might be something, must be something software related. You should have fuel, so definitely do check. I think the chances of you having no fuel are extremely small, so I don't think that, but it doesn't hurt to check if you do have fuel on board, FOB, fuel on board, that there is something there at least. I don't think the MCDU setup would make any difference. I would think you should be able to start it up anyway, without the FMC having any, you know, information. I'm checking with ChatGPT to see if there are any issues reported, perhaps for the fly-by-wire, you know, because you found something as well. Because I try having full fuel, it's just when the engine starts, exactly. You don't want to fly it anymore. No, I totally understand. It's still demotivating. You'll get it eventually, man. Don't worry. ROTEK coming up 14 miles. At ROTEK we should be speed 278, flight level 104. So our final approach speed, let's go to the perf page. Time is now 14:58. Let's see if there's a weather update perhaps. QNH 1016, 18 degrees, 250, 10 knots. So that has changed, but it's now 18 degrees, so let's put in 18. QNH is still at 1016. So 250 at 10 knots, wind varying from 200 degrees and 300 degrees, 10 kilometers. Slight rain and drizzle. Scattered clouds 2,300 feet, broken at 2,800, overcast 3,200 feet. I'll keep APU bleed on for like a minute. Yeah. Yeah, the APU bleed should be on for, to start both the engines anyway. Engine started. Ha ha ha, finally. That's so cool. I'm going to play a little song for you now. Oh, wait. Legal. Legal. Legal just started the engine. Legal. Legal just started the engines on his aircraft. Cool, man. But what's the difference? What do you know? What you know? Will they start again the next time? That's always interesting to know. You didn't have to do it. I know. That's probably why I do it. It's just fun, man. Oh, that's good to know. That's so good to know. You finally did it. Yeah, see, so because there should be nothing wrong. It worked with the default A320 as well. So I'm still puzzled what was wrong. The difference might be that the A320, sorry, the fly-by-wire A321X might be a little bit more demanding because it is more realistic probably than the default 320. So in that sense, there could be still some room for procedures that you mess up something, I don't know. But then randomly pressed ram air. Ram air turbine, that's weird. Nowhere is man. Nowhere is glad to help. Ram air was near the APU bleed. Yeah, the ram air, but that is actually should have nothing to do with it. Ram air turbine. Yeah, this is when you push the ram air turbine. Let's not do it, I guess. But then there should be a little what do you call that? It's to provide a little bit of power. Then on the outside of the airplane there should come a little fan on a stick or whatever. Should come out of some little opening, and the fan blades will start spinning in the wind because the aircraft is moving, and that generates a little bit of electricity. I don't know where it is. The static port was probably somewhere on the bottom, but I would not immediately think those two are related, if you know what I mean. But it worked at least. Just waited 2 hours, have to head out in a bit, schedule. Okay, but you got it now, man. I'm really happy you got it sorted anyway. And yeah, that's sometimes how it works. I know exactly how you feel. You're like, shit, can't fly right now, but at least wherever it is you're going, you don't have to fear that you're crazy, you know what I mean. Right, 14,000 feet, and see the time is 15:03. We're expected to touch down 15:15. Really? That's quite fast. Right, so let's slap in our passengers. And let's also start up the APU. Well, you got to wait 24 hours. Nowhere is legal. Nowhere is at all. Good of you to ask, and if I can help, what you said, is willing to help. Sometimes all you can do. Start. So the APU is starting up. Passengers are strapped in. So let's double check now. We're 12,900 feet. 15:15. So that's in about 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent, so please return to your seats and turn on your, fasten your seatbelt securely. We expect to arrive at Eindhoven Airport in approximately 10 minutes. The local temperature will be 18 degrees. It will be a little bit windy and there will be some clouds and some slight rain. Other than that, we're expecting a smooth landing. On behalf of Wizz and the entire crew, thank you for your attention. Alright, so we got away with that one. Have to go have dinner in a bit and sleep. Amen. Those are very important things. Good luck with that. So close the flight deck door. Bye, people. And we lock it. Look at these clouds, man. Thanks for hanging out, Lego. It's always a pleasure. Let's get ready for landing. 10,400 feet. Still descending. It's good. We're a little bit below the descent profile. Since we're around 10,000, we're just going to turn on the landing lights now. APU has started. Then we should put the auto brake. Let's put it on low. That should be fine for Eindhoven Airport. We're now 1 hour 55 minutes into the flight. Can arm the ground spoilers, but might be a little bit early. Preferably do it on final approach because we might need them. But for now, since we're below the profile, I guess we might be good. Let's hopefully we can do this correctly. Let's now see if there's no ATC online, because that would now really start messing with our things. No, okay, there is none. Alright. Oh, let's see if we can back here again. There's some clouds coming up here for sure. So cool. Okay, so the engine started again with the MR off. Very good. The gasoline, so yeah, I think so as well. No worries, man. Happy to hear that it worked. And good for you to not give up and to just keep on going. You know, we might need our speed brakes here for a second. Let's do that. Speed brakes. Where are my speed brakes? Speed brakes out. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that it's working, Lego. It's really cool. And you hung in there, you know? You didn't give up. Finally, who knows what issue you'll face at the water flight. Or join the club. So we got definitely some crappy weather going on here. We're now flying to that custom waypoint that we created, the BBD02. 6,900 feet. After they keep facing issues, as if I should just toggle. I know, man. It's a hard life, isn't it? What can I say? We got first world problems here, man. Flight control, speed brake, okay. Yeah, speed brake can be retracted again. Uh-oh. Ooh, that was laggy there for a second. Some scary shit. Wow, getting some definitely some lag going on. Thrust leaves are at idle. Still a little bit high, so speed brakes out. Turn on the landing system. We got DME, 16.4 nautical miles. I'm also going to turn on the localizer now. Localizer armed. See the landing. That's right, legal. Let's do it. Localizer capture. It's good, and we are below the glide slope. Speed brakes retracted. Performance page. Approach speed 137. And the Airbus is a little bit different than the Boeing. It should manage all the speeds on its own. 3,000 feet coming up. So let's go. Local pressure 1016. We are on the localizer. Let's do this. We're well established 3,200. Let's arm the approach. There we are. Category 3 single. Let's see if we can make it dual. There you go. So then can we activate approach phase? We're at approach phase, very good. Flaps 1. And we arm the transponders. P brakes at 1. Let's turn on the runway turn-off lights. Nozzle steering lights. That wants to go. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. And glide slope coming up. Flaps 2.
$2,500.
Some poor visibility, but I guess that's the runway lights. So at around 1,000 feet we'll turn off the autopilot. We'll hand fly the rest of our approach. Flaps 3. Let's drop the gear, 6.1 nautical miles, 6.3, gears coming. Eindhoven traffic on ILS, final approach, runway 21, Eindhoven traffic. Go full flaps, 4.7 nautical miles. Flaps are full. We have good visibility of the runway. The wind was 250, 10 knots. Definitely getting some wind here from the lights. Right, so let's turn off the autopilot.
1,000.
Autopilot off. 1,000. Why is that making that sound again? Stop. There's a runway coming up.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
But thinking is what gets me through life as a sane man.
Don't sink.
It's complaining about our descent rates.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
100
Don't
above.
sink. Don't sink.
Minimum.
Don't
Fail.
sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Idle.
Don't sink.
40. 30.
Don't sink.
20. Retard.
Well, it's a
Pitch.
bouncy landing. A bit of radar. And that nose gets touchdown as well. Full reverse. Welcome to Eindhoven, everybody. Engine to idle, flaps up, transponders in. And we'll vacate to the right. Get our ground speed down. So as I said, we're also using custom livery, or not livery, custom scenery for the Eindhoven airport. And here we are. Made it in one piece. The aircraft did not like us descending at some point too much. Seemed very sensitive and started to yell at us, saying like, don't sink. Think right. Good landing except for the bounce, absolutely. Yeah, the bounce, I'm not really sure what was happening there. Hopefully review will give me some information. Gonna stream tomorrow, probably legal. I usually lately I've been streaming almost every day, which I like, so there's a good chance I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully I can make a landing replay of this one. I tried to do it for yesterday's 2 flights, but it was dark and it was something just wasn't right. So I figured I'm just going to skip it. But for this one, I think we could probably make a landing replay at least. And I think I'll probably stream it tomorrow as well. But I like to look at it on a day-by-day basis. There's actually a good chance I might be streaming tonight as well. Because, yeah, that's helping my brain. Alright, so we got a bit of sunshine here. Through all that rain, there's actually some sun. So what is that red message telling us here? Autopilot AP off, yes. Could you do a takeoff from Heathrow Airport? Oh, okay. That sounds nice. Yeah, for sure. Heathrow, and then maybe I'll see some destination. Maybe I'll actually even do like a long haul flight with the 777. I hit 40 subs. Ah, man, that's so cool. I started with 38 today. Heathrow's cool, man. And you know, any ideas are all welcome. You know, so Heathrow it is. Let's see where we are. So we did not take a right here because that will take us to the military part of this airport. This airport is actually military owned. It's actually speeding a little bit. Our ground speed 36 knots, so a little bit much. Heathrow's pretty busy. Yeah, I might not. If I do Heathrow, I probably will not do it on VATSIM because of that reason. But or if I do it, I will use a different plane, like the Boeing 737. I'm much more familiar with. Yeah, man, and maybe one day you could join in. You know, like we could organize a flight and have a bunch of people flying somewhere. I see some streamers do that, and it seems nice, you know, it seems cool, it seems fun. It's all good, man, just we're here to have some fun anyway. So we're going to cross runway 21, let's see if there's nothing on the approach. Eindhoven ground, taxiing, crossing runway 21 for the apron, Eindhoven ground. would like it if you do a Heathrow takeoff in VATSIM, but it's only okay if you don't want to, since the bird's pretty busy. Yeah, it's super busy, man. But you know, I've done Amsterdam, which was also super busy, and I messed up totally. Apparently there was an event, and I totally wasn't aware. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, it's nice and busy. You know, seems realistic. Apparently there was some huge event going on, and I made a stupid mistake after takeoff. And again, this is an example where I made a mistake and I did not ask. I just assumed, and that's killing. You know, if you assume and just go ahead and do something, you know, so you should always ask. So that's something I've definitely learned there, because these guys must have thought that I was, you know, disruptive, you know, and pretty much I was, but I wasn't trying to be disruptive, of course. And this is actually on my channel. It was a flight from Amsterdam to Istanbul. And the guy was at some point saying, Turkish 812, you are continuously not following my instructions. What's the reason for that, sir? And I was thinking, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know. These guys are working hard to get all the traffic separated from each other, you know. And here I come just assuming things, so that's absolutely killing. Hey, we'll stop. Oh, I thought I actually retracted the ground spoilers, but not sure what I'm looking at. Set the parking brake. The streams are pretty chill, which was nice. I like to have some chill time. What do you think is better overall, Boeing 737 or Airbus? I don't know, man. The Airbus in a way seems to sort of fly itself, I would say. But a lot of things are automated. But the 737, personally, I have lately been more familiar with, but that doesn't mean that it's better. It says more about me than about the planes. Pretty controversial on personal preference. If you wanted to know, I'm just moving from Vision Jet to a modern airliner. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know much. Yeah, well, that's a good starting point to gain more knowledge, isn't it? Right, so we're here at the gate. There's a Ryanair to our left. So once again, welcome to Eindhoven. Looks like we did make it in one piece. It was a bit of a bouncy landing, so I'm curious to see. Let me see if it's still recording for the landing. Yes, it is, so we can stop the recording. So then probably I'll make a little landing video for today's flight. And then where are we parked? Sierra 6. So that's it, man. Thank you very much for checking. This is the end of the stream. Flick was saying day before yesterday was the time I first ever set foot on the A320 Neo. Oh wow. Yeah, that is so cool. The A320 is really nice. It is absolutely very nice plane. It does a lot of things automatically for you. So in a sense, it could sort of make you, let's call it lazy. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I noticed this once I started flying from the Airbus to the Boeing. And then I noticed in the Boeing I had to do a lot more. But also there is something to be said for that, because it also gives you an opportunity to learn a bit about it, you know? So that's also pretty cool. So basically, I don't think one is better than the other. I would maybe argue that the A320 might be a good starting point. When you come from the Vision Jet and you want to fly big airliners, then probably the A320 is a good starting point. It's user-friendly. Just have to get to know what it wants, you know? Anyway, streams have helped me a lot to learn it better. Thanks for your help too. Nowhere is legal. Thank you very much for hanging out and for checking the video and for chatting. That's always nice. And I'm really glad you solved your little issue there with the fly-by-wire. And again, very good that you kept on hanging in there, you know, instead of giving up. Many told me A320 Neo will do a lot of things for you. That's true. And the beginner, yeah, I agree. Beginner friendly. Most used in VATSIM. Yeah, it's a very popular airplane. Sorry, in real world as well. It's just a very good airplane. And one interesting thing, for instance, about the A320, and especially the Neo, is when you say, let's say you want to do a left turn, or like you go up. Basically, the fly-by-wire, what it does, you demand a certain G load on the airport, on the aircraft. So you basically, let's say you want to go up pitch by, let's say, 5 degrees or something. You do this, it goes up 5 degrees, and it stays there, and you can then let go of the yoke. In the Boeing, you will have to keep holding the yoke. And in the Airbus, you're basically saying, I want you to go up this much, and then you release it, and it just executes it for you. So that's a huge difference. And you feel this when flying. The parts where actually hand flying, you'll feel that. So that's an interesting thing. That's also perhaps beginner friendly. And it also, I guess it's also maybe in a way safe, I don't know. Kind of lazy. Well, I don't think you're super lazy if you're trying to learn how to fly the A320, man. I don't think that's what lazy people do, but that's just my opinion. But cool. Glad we made a full flight. So that's it, everybody. A special thanks to Lego for sticking with it and hanging out. And for everyone else as well, thank you very much for checking, and thank you so much for the new subscribers. Lego just told me we have now 40 subscribers on the channel, so we're definitely been growing, which is very, very, very nice. I cannot begin to tell you how nice that is. I'm just a small channel, so now it's only 40 people, but it is 40 people, you know, and that is so cute. So thank you very much for that. I totally appreciate that. And I hope everybody has just a lot of fun, you know. And if you don't like it, that's also okay. Then you could do something else. You know, just as long as everybody has fun, that's the most important thing. You know what I mean. So thank you again very much. Well, man, thanks for checking. And I will see you all at the next video. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.